Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, good evening.
Okay. How you doing? I am Kino with STEMwithKino.com. Oh, and don't worry about that. There's just like about a window. I just pulled it up to hook it on my little headset thing, just to let some fresh air in. So, so hope that doesn't distract too much. But anyway, welcome to my channel. I'm Kino with STEMwithKino.com, and today is the Aviation Selection Test Battery Weekly. We're here every week. And if you're preparing for the aviation selection test battery or the just the reading, math, and mechanical comprehension part, which is the officer aptitude rating, this is the place to be every week. You drop questions and we answer them, and we also provide a little bit of aviation history and aeronautical information during the week and stuff. Normally these run about an hour, but they could adjust, I don't know, half hour to 45 minutes as well. Sometimes depending on what I need to do on my workload for the day. So the best way you can get the most out of this is to just come and bring questions. And I have some in queue already. All right. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the something historical. Okay. We last week was the birthday of the Navy, which strangely is my mom's birthday, made it 8th, but 1911. Okay. So, um, if you follow me on Facebook, and please hit the like buttons. And before that, guys, check in. Let me know what you're preparing for, whether it's the full aviation selection test battery or if it's just the OAR. So of the audience, um, and we'll take it from there, guys. If you're following me, which I hope you are, on Facebook, and I think I see a new name. That's good. Welcome, welcome. I'll shout you out in a moment here. But if you guys are following me, oh wow, well, we got some new people in here. Yeah, so new folks, make sure you're here every week. Get your test prep books. Read through your test prep books and find problems for us to solve for you here on this channel. You can catch me on YouTube or Facebook. If you are on YouTube, um, please hit the like button and please subscribe. Even if you dislike this video, even if you dislike it, you know what I mean. Hopefully, you'll provide some, constructive criticism, and maybe I may or may not make adjustments. But I think I got a pretty good thing going on, and I think the people that support me and support my channel, they're okay with it. So hey, but we are trying to uh, reach out to people that are going to OCS um, via the Navy, Marines, and definitely the ROTC cadets. And if you are ROTC cadet from one of the Marine Corps ROTC, Navy ROTC, or I'm not even sure if there's a Coast Guard ROTC, but there may be. But I'm not aware of it. Make sure you just give a shout out and just let people know. It's a free resource. We're here every week, and you know. And also, I'd like to point out if you are preparing for the ASVAB, you can provide questions here too as well on any one of my live streams if you're preparing for the ASVAB. So yeah, just wanted to get that out there first. And back to our page, I will actually drop a link on YouTube. Copy, and let's cross this over, and let me put this on the and guys, YouTube, hit that like button, please, or dislike, either one. All right. Okay. Okay, so that is the link to Facebook for my YouTubers. If you're already on Facebook, you're already following me. So I'd like to direct your attention um, for the first aircraft, and let me come back and make sure I'm in the right position here. All right. So historically, we're going to talk about, we're going to go through the entire history of U.S. naval aviation, because that's really my target. But if you're taking an OAR, then the math and mechanical and reading is also a part of it. So even if you're doing just the OAR here. So okay, we talked about last week. We talked about the first guy to ever take off from a ship, and that was November 14th, 1910. All right, when there was a guy by Eugene Ely. He flew a Curtiss biplane, and they actually built a special 83-foot wooden platform on the cruiser Birmingham. Now, I'm not sure which, country. I'm assuming maybe it was U.S. Navy, but no, the new U.S. Navy was not even born, or the birth date hadn't occurred. So in 1911, on May the 8th, 1911, the Navy purchased its first aircraft from Glenn Curtiss. And this aircraft was called the A-1 Triad. It's on our Facebook page. This date of purchase became the official birthday of naval aviation. The Wright brothers soon sold the Navy a second aircraft. The Curtiss and the Wrights agreed to train a pilot and a mechanic. Eugene Ely landed on a 120-foot wooden platform built on the aft turret of the Pennsylvania. And let me see, okay, so that picture we showed last week was actually, okay, he was launched, okay. So there's an event. He was the first to take off from a ship 14 November 1910. And then in 1911, this occurred. He landed on a 120-foot, this guy, Eugene Ely. Maybe I should pull his picture up and put that on the page. Yeah, so yeah, he's the pilot. He did it. So let's give him credit. Eugene Ely, United States Navy. Okay. Eugene Ely, the first naval aviator. All right. Okay, I'm not finding anything, but I'm not going to waste time with that. I will find him. I see a bunch of pictures here, but I'm not really sure who's who. And I do want to give the guy credit. If this guy was the first to do it, but I'm getting a bunch of images, and yeah, so we'll get to it. We'll make sure we post that so you guys can see a picture of him to give him his credit. Okay, so that is, and I just want to make sure I covered everything else. So yeah, let me just finish up. So he landed. Okay, by the end of 1911, the U.S. Navy had 3 airplanes, 4 pilots, and 1 naval air station located at Greenberry Point near Annapolis, Maryland. The station eventually moved to North Island, Carolina. Later, the Naval Aeronautics Station, Pensacola, Florida, was established and became the primary training facility for all naval aviators and enlisted aircrew personnel. So 1911, our next point will be in 1917 for next week. So we'll hit this every time that we do a live stream for the Aviation Selection Test Battery. Okay, now for the aeronautical, and there is a picture of the aircraft. This aircraft, and this is actually in the National Naval Aviation Museum. I'll actually drop a link in there if you guys want to actually go to, that site and check them out. And let me see. All right, dropping it on the Facebook side of things. Pasting. Enter. Yeah, and we'll put this on the YouTube side of things as well. So if you guys like to check that out, I would do it because there's a lot of historical naval aviation things that come up on the test. So the link is there, and you can check it out. Now let's go into the aviation side of things, because I also want to talk about a topic every time we get to this part. And then we'll go into questions. All right. If everybody can hear me, hit the one button. If you can hear me and I'm coming across good, hit the one button. So that's the sound check, and I will look into. Okay. Okay, so the first type of engine, we talk about a lot of turbine engines, but the first one is what we call a reciprocating engine. A reciprocating engine has cylinders like your vehicle, and basically it cranks the propeller. All right. And we'll be dropping a picture on Facebook there. We can say reciprocating engines on the side. You can actually see the cylinders, and that is the reciprocating engine. So just like your car, you have cylinders, and they kind of rotate around a crankshaft, and they turn a propeller. Now, the next item that we're going to talk about is the turbine or turbo propeller. This is a propeller that is rotated by a turbine or a jet engine. All right. And okay. So I'm dropping an image of that as well. And we're going to talk about a little bit about how, okay, so we came from a reciprocating engine. A propeller turned by a turbine is going to have much higher performance. It's going to fly faster, and it's going to be able to take on heavier payloads. Your payloads are, your pilot, passengers, cargo. People are paying. That's what I think about when I think about the payload. All right. So the turboprop is on the site there. So I want to talk a little bit about the turbo, if I can pronounce my words, turboprop Kino. And some people would call it a turbine propeller. So basically, this is kind of like the next step up after reciprocating engines. Then, okay, so like back in the old days, I used to fly Cessna 152s and 172s, and these were reciprocating engines. These were powered by cylinders moving back and forth. That's what reciprocating means, back and forth. And in turn, they were turning the propeller. The turboprop has a jet engine connected to the propeller. Normally there's some type of gear reduction system, because your engines could be spinning really, really, really fast, but your propellers can't. They actually have to rotate slower for the best performance. So the turboprop engine is a turbine engine that drives a propeller through a gear reduction gear. Now, this is not the case. I used to fly King Airs, and the King Air actually had no direct connection between the turbine and the propeller. There was no connection. It was actually propelled through exhaust gases. And basically, the exhaust gases, you could literally fire up the engine, hold the propeller still, and the propeller would not move if you held on to it. But for safety reasons, we wouldn't do that. So exhaust gases drive a power turbine connected by a shaft. So this is what you're looking at in that picture. It drives the reduction gear assembly. Reduction gearing is necessary in turboprop engines because optimum propeller performance is achieved at much slower speeds than the actual engine's operating RPM. So let's say if your turbine was moving at 6,000 RPMs, I'm just throwing a number out there, you probably only want your propeller at maybe like 2,500 to 3,000 RPMs. And these are just random numbers. Don't be like, oh my God, no, it's not 3,000, 2,500. I'm just letting you know that the turbine engine spins a lot faster than the propeller. Turboprop engines are a compromise between turbojet and reciprocating power plants. So like I said, it's in the middle. And the range is like your reciprocating, like my Cessna, the Cessna 172 back in the day, you might get 115, 120 knots. You get it up into the 182, depending on a nice tailwind. And the Cessna 182 was flying a 182 RG, and I had a nice push. I was coming from some type of business meeting, and I was actually getting like a really big push because a storm was coming in, and I was actually damn near 180 knots. over the ground speed. I was getting really, really pushed. I think it was like 150, 180 or something like that. So for a propeller, man, I was getting like awesome performance out of that aircraft. But turboprop engines operate from around 25 to 400 miles per hour, and they operate at altitudes of 18,000 to 30,000. Now, in the Cessna 172, you would never want to be at anywhere near 18,000. That is very, very high for that aircraft. Airplanes have something called a service ceiling. That is another vocabulary word. A service ceiling is kind of like the maximum performance height that you could be at in that aircraft. It will go, it probably will go a little bit higher than that, but your climb, your performance would suck. Because the atmospheric pressure is lower and you don't have the oomph from the engines. You know, they're just not, built for that. So like a reciprocating engine aircraft, you wouldn't want at that altitude. It doesn't have the performance. And I actually did a video on that. Okay. So they also perform well at slow air speeds required for takeoff and landings and are fuel efficient. So yeah, and we'll probably talk about the turbo fan and the turbo shaft and stuff like that next week. We're going to get into questions in a minute. So here's one thing. I'm trying to fit as much information in each one of these live streams for you guys, so you guys can get a little historical, naval aviation. You can get some aeronautical information, and I'll be doing aviation and nautical information. I'll be mixing that up as well. All right. And again, I'm like getting like 3 bar, bouncing to 3 to 2 bars, guys. If you just hit 1 for me, if you guys can still hear me okay, because I'm just concerned about the connection ever since we got this. Facebook changed some stuff up, and I just want to make sure that you guys are getting the message. Okay, so that was that one. Okay, so yeah, I saw a couple new faces in here, and I want to just shout you guys out, and I thank you guys for taking time out to come in here. All right, I see Aldrich. Good to see you, Nugent, Tram Nugent. Welcome to the channel. Lokalani, I see you. Darren, I see you. Let's see on the YouTube side of things. Isabella, Verzi, I think that's your last name, but Isabella, welcome. That's Mr. Gillen to you. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Welcome to the channel. Quanisha, I see you. And Stacy, you should be somewhere around here. I don't see you though, but So yeah, guys, thumbs up. Follow me on Facebook and like the video if you're on YouTube. So welcome you guys. So questions. It's like, yeah, Kino, your aviation and history and stuff like that. We don't want to know about that, but yeah, you do want to know about that. Especially if you're taking the full aviation selection test battery, because a lot of historical things come up on that test. So that's why I decided to do that. So we talked about the birthplace of the Navy, the first guy that took off and landed on the ship, and actually the first aircraft, which was the A-1 Triad. Okay, so I like to, as I go through the week and I'm preparing people for this test, a lot of good questions come up. I'd like to address that too, as well as we go into our question and answer phase. Tom, I see you, Tom. I want you to be like, man, he ain't seen me, man. I ain't never coming back. No, he wouldn't be like that. Tyler, I see you, buddy. Okay. John, I see you too. John Michael. I ain't forget John Michael. Good to see you. That's one of them cool names, John Michael. Yeah. Okay, so we got into it when we're trying to identify aircraft. So I am kind of going back to the airplane thing. A T-6 Texan, that's the first aircraft you guys are going to fly in primary. Ain't this Filipino Christopher. Thanks, shout out to Christopher. So a T trainer, okay, that's what you're going to train in. You had the T6, you had the T-34 back in the old days, and you had the T-37 Tweet. We got into like the World War II era aircraft, and well, you know, the P-51 was used to fight other airplanes and stuff like that. And so today's fighters would be like your F-35 or your F/A-18 Hornet fighter attack. And so it was like, well, but how the hell did we get this P-51? So guys, historically, if a P something comes up, like a P-38, a P-51 Mustang, all right, it was a fighter aircraft, but P standed for pursuit in those days, okay? It was a pursuit aircraft. So they would go after and go get whoever they was trying to go get. That's what I kind of think. I'm going to have a more technical term for you guys next week. But I'm thinking pursuit aircraft. It's like, boom, these guys are scrambling and going to go shoot down bombers or go to shoot down fighters. So P standard for pursuit aircraft. Because I was like, yeah, I never really thought about it. The P-51, yeah, that was the workhorse during its time. It was one of the workhorses during its time. And so I was like, yeah, why wasn't it an F-51? So P-51 stands for pursuit aircraft. That was a mouthful. Okay, so coming on back. All right, so we had a distance, rate, and time problem that, and I'd like to tell you guys, just because you solve for X does not mean you answered the question. I'll say it again. Just because you solve for X does not mean you answered the question. So I am going to give us an example that has been dropped. And I should be able to pick it up on Darren, what was that question number? Type it as quickly as you can. I know there was a lag, but could you please type in that question number? I got a bunch of screens up. Because I was thinking it was the 5.2 answer. No, it's 8.2 kilometers per hour. All right. But I definitely wanted to hit the one that was something that kind of threw. Okay, I found it. Okay, so I'm posting this on the Facebook page, on the main page. And the first thing I do when I look at word problems, it's what type of a word problem am I looking at? There's a bunch of different types. If you know the type of distance, rate, and time word problem you're working with, you can apply a formula. Okay, so that has been posted, and I'm going to go in. All right. Okay. So, well, where you at, man? That's the wrong one. I don't believe it's posted, or it looks like it's chilling on it. I see some horizontal lines. All right, and I see another one that someone else dropped. So I'm going to address that next because it is directly on the. I think I might have done that last week, but the image is not. Let me refresh the screen. And I apologize for this because I'm really trying to kick out as many problems for you guys, and Facebook is not cooperating. Okay, so it will eventually wind up on the timeline. Okay, so let me go in on this. Okay, so I'll verbally say this. I don't know if I can copy this for my YouTube family. Yeah, I can do it. Actually, I think copy. So you guys can see it. It might be too many characters, and it was. No, I gotta at least chop it. All right. Copy. backspace, I'll push that part out, and then boom, push this part out. Bang. So you guys can see it and you can read it, and I will verbally read off the answers for you guys, the answer selections. And I am thinking I can drop this off, paste. Wonder if it'll do it all. Yeah, it does. It's a little choppy, but everybody can see it. So that's the important point. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is identify this distance, rate, and time problem. So a fishing boat left Hawaii traveling west, a half hour before a cruise ship. The cruise ship traveled in the opposite direction, so immediately that is an expansion. All right, so, and it was going in the opposite direction, 12 kilometers per hour faster. So the speed is going to be unknown, I can see that. 11 hours later, the ships were 322 miles apart. What was the fishing boat speed? Our target time for completing this is about 60 seconds. You do not want to spend 5 minutes on a question. Okay, so I see RT plus RT equals distance. And the rate times time, I see the half hour lead that the fishing boat got plus the 11 hours, so 11.5. And I'll give the rate X plus the rate of the cruise ship was going 12.5 miles per hour faster. So X plus 12.5, and the time was 11 hours for that guy. No, equal sign. And then at this point, there were 322 folks. 322. All right, if everybody can see that initial layout, X times 11.5 plus X plus 12.5 times 11 equals 322. Hit 1 if you guys can see that. And my board looks good to you guys. All right, so I basically have it set up. Now let's make it algebraically friendly. 11.5x plus 11, and that's going to be distributed into x plus 12.5 equaling 322. 11.5x plus 11x, 12.5 times 11. So it's just 1. So watch this. 1, 2, 5, and our 0, 1, 2, 5. Real easy. 1 times all these numbers, and then 1 time the same numbers. We just have a 0 spacer. So that was like really easy. All right, 1 decimal point, 137.5 equals 322. We're going to combine like terms, 2.5x, and there was a plus sign there. But the plus sign is going to go to the other side. So 322.0 minus 137.5. Take some energy away from that guy. 5 decimal. Take some energy away from that guy. 4. Take some energy away from that guy. 8. 184.5. And these decimals are killing me. All right. So 184.5. All right. And so the decimal moves over 1 here, and the decimal moves over 1 here. Now I may continue the math like kind of on this side. That's okay. Let me just look at my real estate. So at this point, we're going to ask ourselves, how many times does 224 go into 1? 0 times. 18, 0 times. Even 184, 0 times. All right. So we have to look at how many times 224 can go into 1800. I'm thinking like 8, 9-ish, because if I had 200 times 8, it would be 1600. 8 times 2 is 1600. So I'll start at 8 and I'll go higher if I need to. 4 times 8, 32, 16, 19, carry to 1, 16, 1792. So there's no more room for another. I don't need to go to 9 because we have 1792 here, so 8 fits perfectly in there. 5 minus 3, 2 is 3. Takes manager away, 14, 5, 0. And 250 would equal 500. So we're below 250, so I know a 2 would definitely work. So 8, and just because we solve for X does not mean we actually got to go back. So what was the fishing boat speed? The fishing boat is this side, so we have solved for it. 8.2 was the answer. Type a 4 in, guys. Type a 4 in if you guys follow me with this. So the formula, it was an expansion. Rate times time plus rate times time equals distance. The X was what we were looking for, but the sailboat or fishing boat had moved for 11 and a half hours. The cruise ship was going in the opposite direction, but it was going 12 and a half kilometers per hour faster than this guy, and it rolled for 11 hours. So that's like the expansion formula for you guys. All right, type a 4 in if you guys got that. The number 4. Okay. Facebook, man, is active, man. I love the participation, guys. YouTube. Okay, Quanisha's in the building. She's like, I'm going to hold YouTube down. Go ahead, Quanisha. All right, so, okay. Let me dig into... Okay. So I'm happy that's making sense to everybody. Pop, 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 pop. The next thing I want to talk about, because I hope I didn't do this last week, and if I did, pardon me, but let's see. Let me check the inbox first. Things are moving slow on my end. Come on, man. Okay, those are your comments, okay. Okay. We have some good questions here. I'm dropping it now on Facebook and let's see, page. Yeah, I'm dropping it now on Facebook. Quanisha, I like you, the why anti-torpedoes are rate control. Okay, the question is being posted and I will read it aloud. And Quanisha, you can go to your, I guess, your explanation in the rear of the book, and we can compare notes to see if, well, they did post, if we agree. And make sure there's no E with this question. If there's an E in this question, please answer this. Okay. The condition known as Down syndrome occurs in about 1 in 1,500 children when mothers are in their 20s. About what percentage of all children born to mothers in their 20s are likely to have Down syndrome? Okay, and you know, this is classic. This is classics for what the aviation selection or all military aptitude tests will do, but especially like in officer programs, because they want to know that you know that you know. So check these answers out. We got 0.0067%. We got 0.67%, 6.7%. That's 0.67, 6.7%. These are all percentages, guys. And then we have 0.067. So like a lot of times, guys, when I'm working with you guys, and I'm like, oh, give me meters. Is it meters? Is it feet per second? Is it meters per second? What is it? Because they pull this they pull this. You know what I'm saying? So you can't walk away and get these points unless you really, really, really know what you're doing. Okay. So 1 in 1,500 children. 1 in 1,500 children. So 1 in 1,500 children is a proportion. But then it's like about what percentage of all children born to mothers in their 20s? They don't really, and you know what, the ASTB will not kind of hit you with a question like this. They will actually have a number, okay? They'll say, okay, well, 1 in 1,500 children, and they will let you work out that ratio. So yeah, initially I did think this was a question representative of the test, because all right, but in a way it kind of is, because 1 in 1,500 is the standard. So okay, these are our numbers, guys. All right, so I like the is over of formula. Is over of equals the unknown percent, which we are looking for, over 100%. I can still get it. So 1 in 1,500. So 1 over 1,500 equals our unknown percent over 100%. All right. So one is what percent of 1,500? All right. So basically what we will do is we will cross multiply and then divide by 1,500. 1 times 100 is 100. 100.0. And then we'll put 1,500 on the outside. There's no need to slide a decimal. Okay. 1,500 cannot go into 1, 10, or 100. It can't even go to 1,000. All right. So we're gonna have to add another 0. So because 1,500 can't go into 1,000. All right. Can it go into 10,000? Yes, it can. 1,500. I'm thinking $1.50 get me to 10. 5, 6-ish. It's got to be a 6. All right. So let's look at 1,500 times 6. Now you guys will do all this. I will multiply 15 times 6 and then add the 2 zeros later. So 5 times 30, 3,900. 9,000. So 9,000. Now we don't even need to work this problem out to completion, because look at our numbers. There's only one in here with a 0.06, and that's this guy. All right, and that would be 0.067. Answer delta. Quanisha, tell me, or please confirm to me whether that answer is right. I know it's right, but people want to know, is this guy, does he know what he's doing? Especially the newcomers. All right. Okay, we have 2 more questions that I'm posting. These are math. And I think the most troublesome area, the largest barrier I have for, people that come to me like, yeah, I want to prep for the test. The largest barrier for guys is the math and mechanical comprehension sections. The aviation sections not so much, because a lot of you guys do a lot of your own research and stuff like that. Because if you're like, yo, I want to be a pilot, you're really going to be digging deep. All right, guys. Okay. Actually, this came up. Isabella, welcome. I don't remember ever seeing your name here before. But when we talk about rate of yaw rate is kind of like turning like your car. Like if this is the top of the plane and this is the bottom of the plane, your yaw rate, okay, you would have a yaw rate. Um, why anti-torque pedals are rate controlled? Yeah, they're considered rate controls because you are actuating or activating a yaw rate by kicking those anti-torque pedals. That's actually a question you would ask on the SIF day, but I wanted to just do something to fill in dead space but make sure you come back and see us Saturdays at 2 p.m. Eastern. But yeah, anti-torque pedals are considered a yaw rate control, and I will go into that deeper on Saturday. All right. How much water must be added to 1 liter of 9% saline solution to get 3% of saline? All right, right off the hip. When I like mixture problems, and there's a visual aid I use, but in use of time. So, how much water? We'll say X, but the water is 100% plus 1 liter, and this 1 liter is 9% solution. To get a 3% saline solution, X plus 1. All right. So that's our formula. The first container is how much water that's pure, so it's 100%, and 1 liter at 9% to give us a 30. Why didn't I put 30? It was 3. Sorry, guys. It was 3 times the sum of the 2 containers. All right, let's see what we get. All right, 100x plus 9 equals 3x plus 3. I hope this works out because this is a really weird number. And my answer options are 1 liter, 1.5 liters, 2 liters, and 2.5 liters. I may need to do some research on this, but let's see. Because we're not really going to get really... Let me look at this. How much water must be added to 1 liter of 9% saline solution to get a 3% saline solution? All right, how much water? 9%. All right. This doesn't look like the numbers are going to come out right. We got 100, we got 3x, which is 3%. Comes over 97, 12. Yeah, that's not going to work with those numbers, guys. I'm going to do some research on this question, and I'm actually going to drop this on Darren's. Darren, I want to drop this on our one-on-one, and I'm going to drop this right now. Yeah, we'll come back to this one, guys. Okay, on the Facebook page, the next one is number 10. In the first week of his exercise program, John went on a 15-mile hike. The next week, he increased the length of his hike by 20%. How long was his hike in the second week? And like I tell you guys, if I want to know 10%, there's a couple ways I could attack this. We know that the first hike was 15 miles. And next week, he increased by 20%. All right, so if I want to know 10% of any number, boom, we just move the decimal over 1 space. So 10% of 15 miles is 1.5 miles. 10%, sorry. So just by sliding the decimal over one space. So if we had a 20% increase, 1.5 is 3 miles. And so 18 miles. B is the answer to that. So a lot of these, you can nail these in 3 seconds. I just want to do some research on 9 because I just don't want to give you guys bad information. All right, this is what we don't do here, or we try our best to avoid disseminating bad information because, the trolls, man, they out to get me. They're like, yo, he made a mistake. Crucify him. I'm like, listen, I'm just trying to help people. And am I like, well, I solved 100% of the questions? No. But I don't bullshit you like college professors. I'm going to get some backlash about this. I used to have this college professor, he'd be like, but sir, you know what? And then, but that's not making sense. And then he'd be like, well, okay, well, if you take this and then you sound like it's a Star Trek commercial, a Star Trek episode. Well, if you take the dry lithium crystals and then you fire the phasers and it activates the lasers, and that'll boost the like, come on, dude. So yeah, I don't do that. If I look at a problem and I see that it is a problem, I need to do some research on it. You guys can check my videos. I always say, let me do some research on that. But the majority in testing, this is where a strategy has to come in. Again, you should not take 5 minutes to be solving a problem. There's got to be a way. Kind of like that little 15% one I did. You could solve that in like 20 seconds. You can't take 5 minutes per question. If you do, you only get about 5 or 6 problems done. And you should be accessing at least 20. If I took the OAR and I did the math portion and I only looked at 5 questions, your score is going to suck really, really bad, guys. You want to access 20. And every now and then, you know what? You're going to, what I say is throw one back. What I mean by throw one back, you just select any answer. Now, you're not going to I would not recommend doing that more than 2 to 3 times. And I really wouldn't want you doing your 3rd time till you were like around question 18 or something. So it's kind of like a lifeline. You look at it, you're like, dude, this problem is going to take too long to solve. So that is a test-taking strategy. You got to look at a problem and be like, okay, I can see the other side of the tunnel. Okay, when I started looking at that mixture one, I was like, When I looked at the numbers, they just weren't looking right. So in testing, I'd be like, okay, you know what? Let me move on. Because this next question, I could run through in 30 seconds, get points for that one. So it's all about scoring points, guys. Make no mistake. All right. You think like, okay, well, I'm taking 10 minutes to answer this, and the Navy or the Marine Corps are think I'm wonderful. No, it's strategy. You guys are going to be tacticians. Anyway, so we have to think about this test in a tactical sense. All right, let me see. Christopher McLeod, self-advocate. All right, okay. Okay. All right. Carly, good to see you. Thanks for liking. See, man, y'all don't know. Yeah, my windows are, I love the fresh air, and the helicopters in the air. For all you SIF people up there, I don't know if you can hear the helicopter overhead. They're doing some type of, either it's a newscopter or something. All right. Moving right along. I did that one. Before. I did that type before. I'm just fishing for. Okay, I don't need it. I don't need it. If it's right, I don't need the explanation. I see you typed in, that's correct. I'll send the explanation. No, once you break this down 10%, dude, it's a wrap. You double it, which is 20%, and add it to the original. Now, another thing is, I'm actually going to do a series on logarithms. because people keep asking about them, and the chances of you getting a log problem are just like kind of almost nil. And if you did, I wouldn't even worry about it because it'd probably just be one, not really affecting your score that much. But I'm actually going to do a whole video. I mean, solely a YouTube video. So make sure you're following me on Facebook because I'm actually going to post that. And if you follow me on YouTube, or if you subscribe to me on YouTube, I'll actually do it because I want to I like to when I teach exponents, or say when I teach exponents, I break down the addition rule, the multiplication rule, the quotient rule, the power of a power rule. I teach you so that any situation that you may just by happenstance come into with exponents, you'll be prepared for, so you can actually engage that question. So that's why, I just want to do that so I can just refer guys to the video. All right, who's number 10? That number 10. All right, let me take a look here. Yeah, I did number 10, Quanisha. 10, 18 miles. I hope I answered your question, dear. I don't want you talking bad about me. Let me see. Yeah, that was number 10. That's the word we were having trouble with. I executed that. Number 10, guys, hit number 1 if you explain if you need me, if you understood what I did with number 10. This was number 10. The first week of his exercise program, John went on a 15-mile hike, and then the next week he increased his length by 20%. So how long was the hike of the second week? Remember, 15 miles. I want to know 10%. Boom, 1.5, 1.5 or 1.5 times 2 is 3. So the next week, 15 plus 3, which is 18. 18 is the answer. Okay. So hit me with a 1 if you guys got that, if that was clear. So I thought that, and maybe there was a delay. Maybe there was a delay with that. So no, I'm not. Don't feel like I'm I answered that. I'm not upset or not like that. I'm just I think I answered it. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so we're at 5 minutes. Fire these questions off. We're gonna be here next week. And look, Alani, that probability question you would never see. I've already sent you a message on that via Skype. Okay, and I think I'm seeing you in a minute or so. So, guys, every week, hold on, let me make sure I'm at least in the camera on Facebook because I'll be like, it's even saying we're having trouble playing this video. Are you shitting me? It's you're kidding me or what, man? Oh, wow. See, I didn't even know that. So I don't know if you guys are in Facebook land. Hit 1 if you guys see me. That's why I don't do that to be a pain in the butt. But you know what I mean? Sometimes things drop off. And I can see my video upload and download speed and my audio upload down speed. So it looks like it's functioning fine. But I could be wrong, and I hope you guys come on over to YouTube if so yeah, that's something I'm gonna mention. Tyler, you can see me? Just type in yes for me, Tyler. I see the 1, but if you can see me now on Facebook land, just hit yes or type yes, sorry. Because I just want to definitely make sure that I am coming across. Also, while I have you guys here, make sure you guys go on over to Air Warriors. Air Warriors is an awesome. Okay, I see the yes. Yeah, Air Warriors is an awesome. Most of you guys already know about that because if you guys do your own research, you guys are Yeah, I know about Air Warriors. Actually, people mention me a couple times in Air Warriors in my videos on YouTube and here. So shout out to Air Warriors, man. Thank you. Or the people. I'm not sure it was Air Warriors in particular, but probably somebody's like, yo, man, this is crazy old dude on YouTube, man. He loves talking about the ASVAB and AFOQT and ASTB and OAR and all of them. I'm prepared for everything. All right. So that is another one done. For all my SIFT people, United States Army, ROTC, OCS, and WAFT, Warrant Officer Flight Training candidates. See me tomorrow. Come check me tomorrow at 2 p.m. Oh, you actually found me. Thank you, Michael. John Michael. You found me through Air Warriors. Yo, could you do you know? I'm gonna post up my Gmail. Can you send me a link to my email wherever you found me? I would just like to see what. I mean, it's always good. I never heard anything bad. Oh man, they were talking junk about you, Kino. No, I never heard anything like that. So the people that do talk about me speak very highly of me because I've helped a lot of people. Get winged. Yeah, so John Michael. Yeah, just that's my email. Just if there's a link, I just like to see some of the things that they say about me because I hear good. Yo, man, I found you on Air Warriors, man. That's why I'm calling you or I'm emailing you or whatever. So yeah, I would just like to hear some of the things because on my Facebook page, I actually have some of the testimonials. People just kind of give me um, just I don't want to say praising me, just giving a testimonial. That's what I'm looking for. A testimonial of of just what I've done for them and stuff like that. Matter of fact, a couple of guys I had actually just soloed not too long ago, and they sent me pictures. Beautiful picture. I'm gonna actually put that up on the Facebook page the next time I because that was awesome. He was flying in formation. Damn, I found it. All right, that's what's up. Yeah, yeah. So he was flying in a formation, and this is in a T6 Texan, and yeah, I was just like, wow. So it's like I was a part of that, man. I helped these two guys get to the cockpit, or not this one particular uh, applicant. He did his aviation selection test battery with me. I don't remember his score, but he did really, really well. But so it's nice when you get pictures like this, or your people that you worked with. They send you pictures when they get their bars. I call them butter bars, or when they get their wings and stuff like that. So yeah, that's actually going up on the Facebook page right now. Because I was like, wow, when I saw it, like it's like okay, so it's good because if you do well in this test, it is going to change your life. I wouldn't care how many you know so there are people that are not as good as me and they charge double what I charge. Um, and some of these guys are not even pilots. And I had this thing last week, dude. Like, what are you doing? Yeah, so yeah, that's it. You can see them, and they're right above the cloud deck. It's a broken cloud layer, and it's pretty cool. So it's like I look at that and like, dude, I had something to do with that. That's what I do. That's why I do what I do. You know. So it is 6:01. We are 1 minute past the cutoff, guys. Listen, thanks. Make sure you guys come out, and I just want to make sure I talk to everybody. Alrighty, Isabella. Okay, and that's Mr. Gillen. I have not seen you guys, or maybe I was just back and forth between screens and the boards. John, it's good to see you. I don't think I shouted you out. Quanisha, I shouted you out earlier. All right. And on the Facebook side of things, yeah, John Michael, thanks for your participation. Christopher McLeod, um, Tyler, Aldrich, Tram, Tom, Darren, Lokalani. And if I miss anybody, because I'm spinning through this thing fast. So I apologize if I missed anybody, but I thank you guys for your support. Hit the like button on YouTube, hit follow, like this video, and all this stuff and everything like that. And I'll see you guys next week. Thanks. I'm Kino with STEMwithKino.com, and I thank you guys for your participation this afternoon. Or actually, it's early evening. All right, but at any rate, I'll see you guys later. Facebook, I'm going to holler at you. Hit N. And YouTube, peace.